And it was really, I mean, I'm really glad that Coach Spo believed in me to make the plays.
How far out are you going to go with this jump shot?
I mean, I've been shooting for a long time. I mean, I've been shooting for a while, you know. I mean, it's just you guys ain't really seen too much shooting because, I mean, Chris Bosh is a really great shooter. So, I mean, now teams are just kind of loading up on him, and just to kind of switch things up, I shoot it too. I was probably surprised about like that he kept throwing plays up. You know, like the first time I was like, okay, and then he drew up a couple more. So I really think he started believing I can make plays down there. So I mean, it's part of it's an improvement.
Celtics can't win in the Super Bowl Sunday matinee. They fall to the strap, really, Miami Heat. They lose. We're going to talk about it now on the Garden Report, powered by lynda.com on CLNS Radio and Celtics blog. All right, we're here for the only part of a special matinee edition of the Garden Report. I'm Jared Weiss, joining me Dan Feldman of NBC's Pro Basketball Talk. We're going to kick this one off talking about the Hassanity in the building. Hassan Whiteside was phenomenal yet again. This guy has 20 points. The rebounds weren't in the 20s this time, but I mean, we can forgive him for that one. But what we saw tonight was it's not just amazing numbers. He really does have a complete post game for a center that hasn't really been playing in the NBA very much. It's kind of remarkable.
Yeah, I think really the Heat were banking on the Celtics not seeing that coming when the pick and rolls weren't working. They're like, oh, let's just throw the ball into Hassan Whiteside over and over and over, get points. And that's what really turned the game in the second half after the Celtics made a little bit of a comeback.
And we saw he had the jump hook going. He had the jump shot going. He could still dunk the ball, but he has multiple post moves. For a guy that hasn't really been playing in the league that long, have you ever seen really a center come in with that many post moves? Really coming out of nowhere, literally coming from Lebanon, which is nowhere related to the NBA, with all due respect to the Middle East.
Yeah, I mean, sure, some guys come in, but they get picked in the top 5 of the draft, and they're immediately very good and very heralded. And to have a guy like this, I mean, he looked like Dirk. We were talking about just how amazing it is that he can pull these moves. I don't know if I've seen anybody like this, where you're amazed by what he does, blocking shots, rebounding, and then he has this too. I can't think of anybody I've seen like this.
And he had an unbelievably complete game. And what was great was the Celtics sent Zeller at him, who was playing because Sullinger was benched because he was late to practice or because it was a good lineup move. Either way, Zeller gets a start. Zeller's a pretty good matchup against Whiteside. He's got length, he's relatively quick for a center, and he's tough. He couldn't really push Whiteside off of his position on the block or in the middle of the pivot there, but even when he was able to, Whiteside was able to adapt. He was able to run away with hook shots. He had the touch, and he has the length and the flexibility and the athleticism that he can really get off pretty much any kind of shot he wants.
Hassan Whiteside, like the matchup that nobody could handle in 2015. That's what the NBA has come to now. It's really, really amazing.
So, all right, Tyler Johnson, who I didn't really know anything about coming into today. It was his second game ever in the NBA.
Do you know where he went to college?
Fresno State.
Ah, so you do know a little bit now.
I looked at his game profile during the game. He was phenomenal. He has unbelievable energy. His hang time was disturbingly good. I don't know how a guy with that kind of hang time kind of slipped through the cracks for so long. But there was this one play that really epitomized everything for me. I think it was James Ennis took a shot, and the ball was rolling around the rim, and he went up for the rebound. Johnson did, like at the appropriate time when the ball's about to bounce off. The ball rolls around, and he somehow just like hung there. I don't know if he grabbed the rim or if he just like stepped on some sort of invisible stool, but he hung in the air for the entire time, still came down with the rebound, found an open shooter who hit the shot, and he had a good box score. He had 12 points. He had 8 rebounds. I think was it 6 assists or so. But his game, just on paper, was great. But the visual effect of his game was mind-blowing today.
He was talking a little bit after the game about, he's known, as you can see now. I'll admit too, I didn't know much about him coming in.
None of us did.
But he apparently has a reputation for being a bit of a dunker. And he hasn't dunked yet with the Heat. And he said, don't worry, it's still coming, and you can see the glimpses. But if you have that athletic ability plus the knack for the ball, making the right play, like, he could stick in the league and be a helpful player for a team trying to win right now.
There's no question he's going to stick. I mean, just the athleticism, the effort, and just the ball skills were good enough that there's no question he's going to be a rotation player. And what I loved was every time there's a rebound, if he wasn't up over guys, he was underneath them trying to sneak in to snatch a rebound. And that worked a couple times for him. But he seems to have the whole kind of pest game figured out perfectly right now.
Yeah, he's a clever player. He finds ways to help. Whatever it is, whatever the Heat need at that moment, he finds something.
Okay, so last part here, we got to talk about the point guard switch the Celtics made at halftime. It seems for a while now that maybe switching Marcus Smart in the starting lineup would make a little bit more sense. For Evan Turner, there's a lot of trade-offs there. Evan Turner's a better dribble penetrator, can move with the ball a little bit better in the paint. But Evan Turner is kind of lacking in every other regard compared to Marcus Smart. And we saw Turner was 0 for 5 in the first half, was having a really rough game. They put in Marcus Smart, and they have a monster third quarter. It was really keyed by both Smart, but mostly Bradley's on-ball defense on the perimeter, forcing transition play, stuff like that. Bradley hitting a lot of shots. But Marcus Smart, when he comes on the floor, almost always he changes the condition of the game. A lot in the way that Bradley did when Bradley was kind of in his first season of really getting serious run here. But did Marcus Smart show you today that they should be making a change at their lineup, especially considering he had a career-high 9 assists?
That's a really good question. He's a good player right now, and maybe he deserves to start just based on what he can produce right now, but I think their priority is taking it slow with him. They don't want to rush him into the starting lineup, even if he's ready. You know, I think if the roles were reversed, I think if Evan Turner were the, still producing how he's producing, but he were the top 5 pick rookie, and Marcus Smart was the guy who was in the league a few years, Smart would be starting. I think more than who's playing better, I think the priority is developing Smart the right way.
All right, I feel like he's kind of been developing the right way all along. I mean, at a certain point, you got to take off your training wheels, even if you're a little bit worried.
I'm with you. I think it's time. I think it's been time. But I understand the inclination. You can't put that back. If you're going to move him to the starting lineup, you have to roll with it and play through it. And if his confidence suffers, you have to deal with it. Mm-hmm. If you wait, you can always do it later. And I don't think there's a huge rush. I don't think it'll have a huge difference on his career arc. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it's about time.
Okay, so agree to disagree, but also agree to agree, I guess, a little bit too. So last thing, we're going to skip boxing out because we just don't have time for it. So baller of the night, for me, it was Tyler Johnson for all the reasons that I said. He really blew me away. I'm going to be watching him. I mean, league pass alert for the Miami Heat right now. They've got all these crazy hustle guys that are really playing out of their minds right now. But for you, Hassan Whiteside's your baller?
Absolutely. It has to be Hassan Whiteside. He's been playing great the last few weeks, and he's just lived up to it. It's hard to live up to that type of hype when maybe he's not this good. Maybe this is just a blip. But so far, at least tonight, he's keeping it up.
All right, that's it. Garden Report, we're out of here already. We're powered by lynda.com. I want to thank the guest, Stan Feldman. We're going to high-five one more time because we're cool guys. Peace out. CLNS Radio, Celtics Blog.
Just playing hard. That's all I can do. I'm a rookie. I don't, I can't come in there and expect to do the things that I was able to do in the D-League as far as just coming in and gun because we have guys who are able to score. So my job is just to come in and play as hard as I can.
What's it just been like these last couple of days to get a chance to contribute significant minutes in NBA games?
I mean, it's awesome. It's been my dream. It's something I've worked hard for, and now that it's paying off a little bit, but I still have a lot of work to do. I'm still only on a 10-day contract, so the first, as soon as I start getting complacent is when it all goes away.
You said in LA you brought the dunks with you. Have you had one yet?
No, I haven't had one yet. I still got to get my legs under me a little bit. It's hard running, back and forth on both ends because, you're having to play defense so hard sometimes that, you get down to the other end and you're like, man, I might not have those legs, but, you're going to get one. Definitely going to get one.
Was there a couple times today where you were kind of, did your imagination start to go on? You had a couple fast breaks. You got fouled, I think, on both.
No, they missed one, but it was there. But it's coming. Don't even worry about that. It's coming.